Yo, yo, yo. What is up, people? Welcome back to the Career Pack Podcast. My name is Neil Patel. I'm the host of this here podcast. And if you guys are new, welcome. It's been a very long time since I have sat down, uploaded one of these videos to YouTube. And it's for good reason because we are currently on day number 361 of doing a daily podcast for a year straight. And today I want to talk about something that's very important, something that I'll probably touch on my 365 um 365th day of recording a podcast every day. And it's that you are not what you create. The reason I say that is because almost a year has gone by. Not that many people have listened to the podcast, let alone like even really talked about it or mentioned it to me. And that's for good reason, because part of it is because of me not putting in enough effort towards it as much as I should. And me putting this up on YouTube, it will be a good indicator to see what the I don't really like saying the word views, but I'm just curious to see who is going to watch it, if anyone even will, because I've kind of stopped putting in effort into the podcast, to be quite frank. And halfway through, man, probably like 220 days out, I never said it, but I felt a little bit burnt out. I made maybe one podcast about being burnt out, but I really was. And this turned into more of, and by the way, for clarification, I was burnt out of having to sit down, think of an idea, think of a topic, think of something to like turn into a good episode and show, pretty much like the hard work. I was burnt out of it. And I was more so interested in just talking about the things that were important to me in the moment, at that exact moment in time that I could think of, that's valuable. And I wanted to share it with the world. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what I've done for the past 2 or 3 months, is strictly stream of consciousness, getting on the mic and just talking about whatever it is that comes to mind, and hopefully saying something that makes you feel a little bit more human, knowing that someone else out there is also going through the same exact things. And it's funny because recently on my TikTok, I have been, well, TikTok and Instagram, I guess, I've been making more like sit down, like talking videos like this, just sharing my thoughts. And they're more so like high tempo, upbeat, happier things. Well, I don't like to use the word happier, but just more real life things that I'm talking about, just small quirks that I have, or things that I've learned still, or just funny things, funnier things, just showing a different side of me. Because I feel like this podcast and a lot of the quote unquote cinematic videos that I make, they may seem like I'm always sad all the time. I made a a podcast about it 2 days ago. If I'm always sad, no, I'm not always sad. And I'm trying to show like different sides of me, because there is a lot more to me than this, emotional brown boy kid. Like, I have thoughts, I have things that I want to share. I've recently got more so into developing a style of like skits, cinematic, just like displaying the conversations that go through my head. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, some days they're just really crazy, like dark days, and then there's other days where everything's good. I'm currently in a point right now where I'm just creating. I like financially, there has to be financially, I've been kind of been eating shit for the past like 3 or 4 months, because, well, 3 months, I haven't had like a proper full-time job. So that's been sucking. And I've kind of also been giving myself excuses to, like, I guess, not go out and like DoorDash or Uber Eats, because I want to create, and then I find myself procrastinating at times. But through it all, regardless of like everything that has been going on in my day-to-day life, I still want to create. I think we're all creators at heart. We all want to do things, make others proud, and just create our life, right? And I have done that for the past year. Now, I'm not saying that I've created a life that I'm really, I guess, proud of in terms of like where I want to be, but just creating. You are not what you create, because sometimes the things that you create, they won't be well received by other people. Other people may not really care. Other people may not like even give a shit at all that you're creating or going in this completely separate direction. And that is okay. Like learning how to detach from what you create is what's important, because it's funny because you have to take on like an identity of a creator where you're going to like sit down and make things or film things or just whatever, maybe like you have to take on the identity as like, okay, I'm a creator and I'm going to do that. But at the same time, the expectations of how it will be received or what others will think or like the views or the followers and whatnot, like you have to be detached from it. But it's hard to be detached from it when you know gaining those followers and gaining an audience is what will ultimately guide you onto your next step and motivate you to do more, do better. But it's only been 1 year since I've done this podcast, and only what freaking September, October, November, December, January, 5 months until since I've picked up a camera. So there's definitely a lot more to do, a lot more to learn, and we're still just getting started. And like I said, I do have a new podcast that, well, not the new it's the same podcast, but just kind of rebranded into, um, I don't even know if I said the name of it yet on my other episode. I don't think I have. And even that, I was supposed to film episode 1 of that today, but uh, that just didn't happen. I just was in a weird state of mind where it just didn't happen, man. It just didn't happen. So yeah, just you are not what you create, because there are so many things that I have recorded or will be recording in the future that won't be shared to the public, but there's also a lot of things that I will share. And I'm not really afraid to share those things. That's where it all starts. It's removing the fear of sharing things. And I want to share things. I feel like it's my duty to share as much as I can with whatever it is that I learn and work on myself along the way and hopefully get better in the process. So that's currently where we're at day 361. Um it's hard to be not like bummed a little bit that all this stuff isn't like where I want it to be, but I know it'll happen. Just taking it one day at a time and really just relying on my support system and the people that I have around me that are supporting that, wow, I can't even talk, that do support me, that do um, give kudos or flowers to anything that I make or create or do. And I appreciate that, because this is a hard process to figure out and learn. But then again, I'll just tell myself that I'm just giving excuses to not learn it quickly. And that is also probably true. But yeah, all right, enough rambling. 362. You guys will see me tomorrow. I love you guys a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, making it this far, and I appreciate you guys. We're on YouTube actually, so if you want, like, comment, subscribe. I'll appreciate it. And until tomorrow, my folks, take care. Tell someone that you love them and go do something nice for someone today, because they genuinely, genuinely deserve it. Much love. Peace.